welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rhonda Lonner.
And I'm still Chuckalicious, Chuck Williams.
It's that time of the year. Love is in the air. And we've got here Miss Jan Boudreau from Bumble.
Yes.
24
Correct.
top dating trend. Well, I know we're from the same neighborhood there. You got a little Creole in you, don't you? Are you from Louisiana?
I'm from Toronto, so I have Caribbean background.
So you have that French Canadian in you. There you go. Well, dating trends. And for us that are single, unfortunately, this is a big help for us. Bumble is going to share with us some of the top dating trends for 2024. Miss Shan, welcome to the chat. How are you doing today?
Thank you, and I'm honored to be talking to an Alicious, so happy, of course, to be talking to all of you. But yeah, this is a wonderful time of year to have the conversation. It is an excuse to lean into love. And what I really love about the trend identified this year by Bumble is also a year to reject the trends. So it is the year of self, where over half of people are saying, I'm actually focusing on what works best for me. I'm very clear about what I want for my romantic life, and I'm okay if that doesn't fall in line with the trends and expectations of society. And the ways that we're seeing that play out is, one, people are now experiencing something called betterment burnout, where they're in essence saying, okay, I know we're trying to optimize and be a better self, but I'm actually okay with who I am right now. And I really want to focus on self-love and approaching love from a sense of worthiness, which is really key. Also, generational blend is becoming a trend, with over 2/3 of women on Bumble saying they're open to dating younger, which is something that we haven't traditionally seen in the past. And then lastly, there's something called the timeline decline, which again speaks to that year of self, where people are no longer saying, okay, I'm putting expectations on myself where I have to be in a relationship by X age or married by that age. Instead, they're just looking for healthy, mutual, reciprocal connections with people, and then they'll see where it goes from there.
You're going to get Chuck Licious' head with that dating younger comment, because he had to chuckle on that one. Yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, he got a little perked up on that one. One thing is talking about gift etiquette and things like that, dating ideas. Those paradigms are out the window. The first date, who pays for it? Have we changed how we approach that nowadays?
I think it's definitely more flexible and malleable, but there are some people who still have traditional values. I think, again, if we speak back to that year of self, what you're going to find there is that there is going to be an array of experiences and value systems that people are leaning into. So you do have to be curious. You can't just assume that everybody wants to go Dutch, or that everybody is just rejecting the idea of Valentine's Day. Some people really do want traditional flowers and candy, and some people are like, I'd rather go on a hike or do something cool and exploratory. So the good news about Year of Self is the fact that people are leaning into what works for them and not falling into the cycle of what everyone else is doing.
Right.
The bad news, I guess, is that you actually have to be curious about each individual's values, wants, and desires. So it means a little bit more legwork for us. But hopefully talking to people and asking what they like should be exciting. So hopefully not too hard of work.
Well, I appreciate the legwork. I am not single, but still, Valentine's Day is a tough holiday, because I'm sorry, guys, you're hard to buy for. We don't know what you want. And so I appreciate the info. And are you seeing any interesting trends this year for gift giving?
Yeah, so transparency is one of the beautiful things that I think online dating has really brought to our culture in general, right? Because we're clearing up the two big questions when we're on online dating. Are you available and are you interested? Which I think sets the tone for us to then have other conversations that technically tend to be a little uncomfortable. So people are upfront about, what am I looking for? What are my intentions for dating? Also, we saw a trend a couple of years ago called cash candidness, where people were like, look, this is where I'm at financially. Here's what I'm capable of doing. Where are you at? And what are you capable of doing? And that was a conversation that typically we try to put all the smoke and mirrors around to make ourselves appear, in a certain way that's not reflective of our bank accounts. So I think, again, leaning into that, if Valentine's Day feels nerve-wracking for you because you don't want to spring for that big expensive date, or maybe you can spring for it, but you're not really quite sure about the relationship status yet, take the fact that people are willing to have these hard conversations more upfront to your advantage, and just ask somebody. There's nothing wrong with just saying, like, how do you celebrate, or what excites you about Valentine's Day? What's the best gift you ever got? What are you looking forward to really leaning into this year? I think when it comes to Valentine's Day gifts, specifically for men in particular, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think meaningful over extravagant can definitely go a long way.
I agree.
Don't let a greeting card company dictate what your holiday is, in other words.
Yes. But wouldn't it be nice to get a little book, from somebody who heard you talk about maybe a speaker that you were really interested in that you found online? And if that person, for Valentine's Day, just got you a book by that person, just something that they showed that they care, that they're listening, that they're excited about building with you, and moreover, building you up.
Is there anything that can point to what men, since we're so hard to buy for, what men normally want to cross the line versus what women want to cross the line? Is there anything in common?
I think what most people want across the line for Valentine's Day is acknowledgement. And that gets overlooked quite a bit because people are like, well, I don't want to buy the expensive gift, or I don't have that big extravagant display, so I'll just say nothing and pretend it didn't happen. Or I'm not sure if we're there yet in our relationship, so I'm not going to make it weird by acknowledging the holiday. I think in both accounts, whenever I've spoken to men in particular too, they're like, well, I'm also a human being who likes to love and be loved, so this is my day too, so can we acknowledge that? And maybe that comes in a card form, that might be enough, or maybe it's something small. Again, that just shows that you're paying attention to somebody and looking to build with them. So I think as a base across the board, everybody just wants the day to be acknowledged by people that they have a romantic connection with, period. You can extend that, of course, to people that you love in general, which I think is a really lovely excuse to do that too.
So basically, I can cut my Maserati out.
Yeah, it's gone. You can forget that.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, some people might. I'm not gonna get myself in trouble with whomever is your love interest right now. They might like the Maserati, but at a base level, they just want to know that you acknowledge this holiday and that you're thinking of them, especially on this day.
Miss Shan, I think you misunderstood that. He's not talking about giving somebody a Maserati. He's expecting somebody to bring a Maserati. See, you have to understand what delicious is to know the feel of it. Shan is a certified sex educator, dating coach, and intimacy expert. She's the host of the top podcast, Lovers and Friends, the best-selling author of The Game of Desire. She's a resident expert on Netflix, Too Hot to Handle, and host of the Marriage Pack on the Roku channel. She's an ambassador for AIDS Healthcare Foundation and Women's Health.gov and a member of the American Sexual Health Association. Where can they find out more about you and connect with you and your lifestyle and your principles?
Well, you forgot the most important lower third there, which is that I'm Bumble's sex and relationship expert. And that just means I have the superpower of knowing what millions of people think about this really important, often taboo part of their life. And so if you really want to dive into love and learn more, you can go to Bumble's website and arm yourself with all the stats and facts and information and become a dating superhero yourself. And then take that empowerment and download Bumble, because now is actually a really great time to start swiping. So when we think about singles who are going into this season feeling a little apprehensive, you can actually feel very empowered, because there's a lot of people just like you on the apps right now. It's one of the peak times to be on online dating.
And Bumble, it really does something it's a women first social network app.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's important. It's putting that power, because for so long, dating, romance was taken away. The power was taken away. Where you were just the object of affection, and you really had no say in it. So Bumble gives that power back to a woman and has a say in what her romantic life looks like. And I think that's the exciting thing. Ms. Shan, thank you for spending time with us this morning. Great information. And once again, go to Bumble, their app, download that app, and check out Ms. Shan for some great information. Make your Valentine's Day special this year. Ms. Shan, thank you for spending time with us today.
What a beautiful outro. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, ma'am. Have a great day. We'll see you very soon, okay?